Danica Reyes, and I am a graduate from Ashton College, and I took the Unit Clerk Certificate program. I wanted to take a short course, and I've always been drawn to helping others and giving back to my community. And I felt that nursing and med school would be a little bit too long for me since I wanted to take part in some volunteer work. So I thought that unit clerk would be the best job for me since it's a quick course, it pays well, and it lets me work closely with the healthcare team. It was a win-win situation. I could support myself with this job and also support others at the same time. My favorite part of the healthcare industry is the impact. Healthcare workers help improve lives every day. They help cure sicknesses, they offer support, and they save lives. And I've seen it firsthand when I've had allergic reactions, when my mom needed surgery, when I fractured my leg. The healthcare team was always there for me. And so I wanted to be part of that team as well and give support to others. My family has a great history with Ashton College. My dad took the immigration consultant course, and my sister just graduated from the immigration legal assistant course. And they both had a really good time with Ashton. The courses were clear, informative, well structured. So when we saw that Ashton College offered a unit clerk course, it was an easy choice for me to choose this one. Ashton College stood out to me because the courses were short, online, and included a practicum. Some of my older friends, they also took unit clerk programs, but in different schools, and it was twice as long as this one. And they offered it for 9 months to 12 months, but Ashton offered it for 6 months. So for me, who prioritized a course that was efficient, flexible, and still informative that would allow me to work right away, Ashton was perfect for what I wanted. I really enjoyed learning medical terminology and how hospitals operate. Before studying here, I never fully understood how complex and organized the hospital system is. And I appreciated that they didn't just teach us about the technical side, but they also taught us to be more compassionate to people, how to put their needs first, how to care for their well-being. And those lessons, I felt that I could also apply in my personal life to think more about others and less of myself. And I also really loved the instructors. They were very passionate about what they were teaching. And although I understood that sometimes it would be hard for them to teach without the face-to-face connection that in-person studies have, they were still very enthusiastic and they still made the courses very engaging and inspiring. My most memorable moment would be getting to know my instructors and my classmates during group discussions or projects that we worked on together. I really loved working alongside people who shared my interests, my passions, and I made real friends with them. And going through the journey together with them was a really nice privilege, and I wish them well for their healthcare journey as well. I mentioned earlier that a practicum was one of the main reasons that I chose Ashton. Since the course was entirely online, I thought that having that in-person practicum experience was really important to me. And I knew that it could help me transition smoothly into the workforce and make it easier to get a job since I could add that experience in my resume. So applying what I learned in real life was somewhat of a challenge, but I gained valuable experience in my practicum, and I'm very thankful for Ashton for that. Far, the course was really smooth and easy to follow. The instructors were very helpful, but the only challenge that I faced was Zoom fatigue. And I think a lot of people know how that feels since we came from the pandemic. Sometimes it was hard to keep my camera on, stay focused, avoid distractions, and not do multitasking. And it took a lot of self-discipline for me. And I think a lot of students who take their courses online could relate to that. But thankfully, the instructors were very supportive of this. They understood it and they gave us a lot of breaks. They would still ask us questions. So that was the only main challenge that I faced. Ashton taught me a lot of valuable skills like patience, communication, medical terminology, and the love of learning. And those were just a few. But the most important skill they taught me would probably be medical terminology. Medical terminology was like a language that I needed to learn to be able to understand and communicate effectively with other healthcare workers. And Ashton College taught me that perfectly. And so now that I learned that, I was able to be more confident when working with healthcare professionals, and it made the complex hospital system much easier. So I finished my practicum in May, and I've seen a lot of job openings for the unit clerk position in my area. But unfortunately, I won't be applying for any of them until early next year, since my family and I will be going to another country for a couple of months. But when I return and when I finally apply for those jobs, I know that the skills I've learned from Ashton and through my practicum will be enough. I'm passionate about being part of the team that supports healthcare professionals, working alongside with them to keep everything organized and running smoothly. Even though I'm not directly involved in the bedside care, I know what I'm doing is still useful because, and it's very rewarding, even though it's behind the scenes work. I mentioned earlier that I'm also doing volunteer work, which involves sharing the good news found in the Bible and offering them hope that not just a temporary solution, but a lasting solution to the world's problems. And working as a unit clerk will help me to support that volunteer work while still being part of something useful in the healthcare field. Looking ahead, my goal is to improve in my role as a unit clerk. I want to become more confident, more efficient, and knowledgeable so I can support my team and be someone that both the staff and patients can count on every day. In healthcare, things are always changing. There's new systems, new treatments, new challenges. That's why I think that the most important thing that we can do as a student or a new professional is to stay teachable. Being open to feedback, asking questions, never assuming that we've learned it all, because every day offers a new opportunity to grow. And I really like what it says in Proverbs 19:20 that says, "Listen to counsel and accept discipline in order to become wise in your future." So I really believe that wisdom comes from being humble enough to listen and learn. And I think, especially in the healthcare field and almost anything, anywhere in life, being teachable and continuing to grow is what's most important.